Jazzcast Pros.
When we first became partners with IBM, that was our drive. They stressed to us, IBM isn't, they're a giant, but that's not their focus. Their focus is, everybody working together, because we realized that this is something that everybody needs to do at once, because if we don't, there's going to be major issues. If we, just take our time on this and we only integrate the biggest companies, it's going to economically create a huge problem. So we understand that working together, big and small, we can close that gap and make sure that everybody is moving forward in one big step. The next 2 years are crucial for the adoption of artificial intelligence, and that's what we're looking for.
Welcome to Elevating Enterprise, the podcast that gives you a 100,000-foot view of success,
so you can see exactly what it takes to grow and sustain your business. I'm RJ Williams, and I spent years working with SMEs, scaling operations and securing contracts.
And I'm Jazzy T, and our mission is to connect you to industry gatekeepers and open doors that will elevate your small business.
We're going to have a quick check-in today. We got Cody Henehan, CEO of Rock AI, Silver Ray AI as well. He is fresh back from the IBM Think Conference in Boston. It was quite eye-opening. I was a guest there as well. And I just wanted Cody to kind of update everyone on new technologies and some of the opportunities and some of the challenges that are coming with AI and its implementation and its governance over the next, few months here. So, Cody, welcome back.
How are we doing? Yes, definitely. Just recovering here from our long week. It was morning till late afternoon every single day. We were out there for 4 days strong, just learning about what's going to be in the future of artificial intelligence, where the focuses are. Being able to work so closely with IBM is so important for us because, we're in the day in and day out of this industry with the biggest and the best, what they're doing. So, from agentic AI to the cybersecurity to, even just simple things to make your day better, integrating with Salesforce. This next month, Salesforce is releasing a Agent Force system where we can build agents and automate your flow within Salesforce. Just little things like that. We're learning so much more about, where this industry is going and where we can really save money. And the numbers that were being thrown out are so conservative, but, everywhere we look, we see the minimum number of like 40%. You're going to save 40% on your procurement. You're going to save 40% on your time efficiency. You're going to increase, the partners that came on our award stage, they were increasing business efficiency by 220% was one of them in a multi-$100 million industry. So, increasing a business's efficiency by 220%, it's absolutely unheard of. Of course, there's a cost attached to that, but now we're learning that cost is drastically going down, especially with the far future that IBM is focusing on, which is quantum computing with photonics. So being able to dive into that was amazing. But yeah, we had a lot of fun out there. For us, we made, even IBM is such a big company, so we were able to actually meet more of our team. We meet people every day there. They have 122,000 employees, so constant. We're constantly meeting teams, and we're like, we can do this, and we're collaborating. It was great. We had a lot of roundtable talks, and we were able to, put our heads together and really come up with, in every major industry, come up with a direction that we can go in a way that we can collaborate. I'm working with quite a few large clients right now, and we're building some things. I can say that we're at the forefront of some of the most amazing industries like construction, maximizing our safety potential and maximizing our procurement. What does it look like if we can automate your material processing and your quoting and actually placing bids and getting pricing back from your vendors?
Yeah. So going back to the we heard from the IBM chairman, and one thing with big business you don't realize is it's called enterprise IT, and I got some experience there, and what I saw was the chairman said, hey, 99% of enterprise data has not even been touched yet for AI.
Yeah, absolutely. That just means that we talk about those crazy, amazing things that we're doing, and that's just with 1% of world data, right? I can send a drone into a building and completely scrutinize it and tell us, what the pass fail scenarios are. I can tokenize assets. I can calculate real assets. We can do all the crazy things that you can think of at this point. We can pretty much build it. What are the drawbacks? Obviously, cost is going to be a drawback of building some of these things, and actually the actual efficiency of that model. So we're growing into that space, but 1% of data, that's nothing compared to what we actually have our capabilities of. So that's what we're really focusing on, is being able to work with more and more businesses and get more and more data, because it's only going to help us grow as a whole. What artificial intelligence is doing, and especially in this community, is bringing everybody together. Everybody's part. Everybody is working together. Everybody's putting their heads together. And that's where we get that 220% from, because we can look at every single angle and we can automate it. The immediate focus of artificial intelligence right now is agents. When this started, everybody was talking about generative AI, like ChatGPT, which is great. It helps you queue problems, questions, think. But now we're working with predictive AI that's extremely accurate, where we can actually solve real world problems in healthcare industries and notice trends and predict,
Yeah. So then touch on this, because the CEO also mentioned there's 3 shifts in AI. AI, make an impact on. 1, he said productivity, 2, hybrid cloud, and 3, quantum computing. And
Exactly.
So what does that mean to, the average business person?
Yeah, so definitely, a term that we used to throw around a lot on Prem, we build these models on premises. That has always been, and that's where IBM really started. IBM back in the day, making computers, making server stacks.
Yeah.
They were everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
ASU, the 400 series. At this point in time, we're able to work on a hybrid level, which brings so much ability. I mean, we could talk about this for a long time.
Right.
It gives us the ability to secure businesses better, but it also brings your cost structure down. When you're talking about these models and how they operate, NVIDIA has been crazy out there. I talk about companies like NVIDIA, Intel, the Gaudi system that's coming out. We're replacing these models every 3 months. They're so efficient that, if we build an on-site GPU cluster, which is how these AI models actually operate, they're already obsolete within 3 months, and they're twice as efficient. So having the ability to work with these companies where we can go hybrid, or we can go full cloud, even in a lot of scenarios, with HIPAA compliancy. That's the governance aspect of IBM and our partners, is being able to secure these models,
Right,
and offer that full governance, where we can go into a hospital and actually work hybrid and on cloud versus having to be 100% on premises. It gives you full access to efficiency. As these models change, they're constantly changing their GPU clusters. They're constantly upgrading, and that's an immediate update to your portfolio. So as IBM's efficiency increases, yours does on the back end as well, because your model is efficiently for you. So that gives us exponential growth. It gives you the ability to look at the fact that, yes, this is something that you're going to invest in now, but the return that you're going to get is also going to continue. It's not just a one and done kind of thing. The numbers are big. You're going to save a lot, but it's also going to continue. And being able to work on a hybrid, access point gives us the ability to make backend changes easy. And these models are obviously built to learn from your data as well.
Yeah, like he said, we can talk about this all day. We were in sessions from morning to evening.
We were talking for hours after the
fact. And hours after. So small language models and edge computing into the mix. What does that mean? Because they were talking about that a lot.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Efficiency of the AI
computing capabilities. We can train models so efficiently now. The base work, the Granite models that we train off of, already have so much pre-built into them. We can create small models extremely efficiently and at a very good price point. And that's also where we drive into Agentic AI. Now we're building small models that integrate for our sourcing, for our models that we're building, that can create, and complete any task that your business needs. So that's really big for us, for any business, because before we would build large language models that would be $500, $1 million, $2 million. And we could really only work with the companies that had the budget, which is unfortunate for our small businesses, because they may have better ideas. They actually may be able to do things better than a lot of the bigger companies, which we see all the time. This really levels the playing field for the future of artificial intelligence, and it gives you your buy-in. And basically what we look at now for the pricing is just what we're operating at. So you can control your model and you can buy what works best for you. But the most important thing is that you can actually do it. You can get in, you can get your foot in the door.
Yeah, and then the other thing is you mentioned that there's going to be a 1 billion apps built on Gen AI by 2028.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Yeah, this is a constantly growing product. Part of what we do, is business consultants. We don't primarily build, we also resell. There's so many amazing things that are out there. I just sent you, Ruben, a use case where we integrated an IBM Maximo. Maximo is something that, people out there, you guys may have heard this for the last 25 years because that's how long that program has been going. It's been around for a long time. We're just starting to automate it with artificial intelligence. We're using Maximo to completely automate and verify the building process on the assembly line of Toyota. So we have a full use case right now where we've integrated into all the cameras and we can watch the actual building of the car. We can verify safety, make sure people are doing things safely, make sure bolts are going in the right places, just the simple stuff, obviously, but those things, they're missed. Our quality control check is constant. It doesn't get to the end. Somebody has to, run around this piece of equipment and possibly miss something. Now it's being done in real time. So our quality control check is just 100% accurate. User experience is going to become a lot better. That's just where this industry is going. And that's what artificial intelligence is doing for our clients.
So yeah, I didn't realize IBM has, on this new journey, they're pretty much partnered with most of the other tech companies.
Everybody
Adobe, Meta, Yama, Salesforce, Palo Alto Networks. They're all, it's a team effort. It's a collaborative effort, what I saw.
That's the drive that all of our meetings have. When we first became partners with IBM, that was our drive. They stressed to us, IBM isn't, they're a giant, but that's not their focus. Their focus is, everybody working together, because we realize that this is something that everybody needs to do at once, because if we don't, there's going to be major issues. If we, just take our time on this and we only integrate the biggest companies, it's going to economically create a huge problem. So we understand that working together, big and small, we can close that gap and make sure that everybody is moving forward in one big step. The next 2 years are crucial for the adoption of artificial intelligence, and that's what we're looking for.
Cody, what do you think? Because now, what I saw, it's going pretty fast. Of course, you and the team, myself with my experience, I understand this and how fast it is. But how can people keep up? Because this, and where is it education focused to? Because we're going to need to have this supported by everyone. Just like IBM is working together, then everyone has to support it together.
Everybody has to understand where this is going and what it's doing. And that's really the sole focus of what we do. We're not out here just trying to sell our models and everything. We're out here trying to inform people. Sales comes on the back end. This is just really exciting for us. So, we're building into our website currently ways where people can stay updated, check out our social medias. We constantly post stuff. I constantly repost things on LinkedIn, so people can see where things are going. But just get out there, start following these companies, do research. It's really important. I will say by the end of this year, we may have a full answer to that where people can actually find all of these, great things on the market. We're working on that. Can't talk too much about it right now.
Yeah. So we can end off there. We're going to do these check-ins with Rock AI because they're like flying in a rocket. No pun intended.
We're working on a lot of stuff. Yeah.
The rest of the year. Cody, why don't you give them the social media again?
Our national platform, Silverray, SILVERAY.ai. And check out our LinkedIn, Rock AI, that's our Rochester-based company. Check out our LinkedIn. We post a lot of stuff there. You can even check out my sister company that I've built, the world's first AI GPO. So we actually have partnered with so many of these, like we said, this is a community. So I've really focused on partnering with everybody that we can. It's not just the bigs, we're partnering with small companies like Uplink that can automate your bookkeeping, where we can offer discounts on all of these. We offer one of the most aggressive Microsoft discounts because we partnered with IBM. Now we have their buying power. So we offer on our GPO platform, many solutions that are discounted. We offer discounted cloud services. Everybody that's using IBM cloud services through AWS, that's a huge factor for us that we can offer. And even just standard GPO, paper. You guys want to?
Now, you say GPOs. Usually, I worked with one during the pandemic for healthcare. It was big. Now, do you healthcare? Is it business services?
It's everything. It is food services. It's medical equipment. It's office supplies. It's cleaning supplies. It's everything that your business needs to be efficient. And that's a free to join service. We've negotiated these contracts. We beat up our vendors. We tell them to give us these discounts. We take a little bit of their money so that we can go to our businesses and say, this is a free service to you. All you got to do is buy it. So it's an easy free to join service. That's AIGPO.com. Easy, world's first AI GPO in the world. We have a focus on AI products, but also all the other stuff, food services, everything else.
Cody Henehan, Rock AI, Silver Ray AI companies. Hey, we're going to do a couple more. This is by far not everything.
I know, we have so much to talk about. Dude, that's just what's floating around in my head right now. But yeah, we're working on, like you brought up, quantum computing with photonics is going to be a huge player.
Yeah, we get in that. We don't want their heads to explode like ours was with too many engineers giving us the formulas and everything. But no, great, Cody. Thanks for joining us, checking in with us, and we look forward to hearing more as we go on this journey. I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jordan. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Elevating Enterprise. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you'll get alerts when the new episodes drop every Thursday. And don't keep all the goods for yourself. Share this podcast with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep building, and keep elevating. Because success isn't overnight, it's strategic.